Hi everyone, I'm Whitney, and after 12 years of sharing sewing tutorials on YouTube, it is safe to say that I have a lot of DIYs and handmade items in my home. And it has been a question over the years from some people what I do with those DIYs once I have made them for a video. And the answer is I actually use a lot of them. I like to make a lot of practical items, and that's what I show you all how to make, and so I end up using them myself or occasionally gifting them to other people. A few years ago, I did a video about all of the DIY items that we use every day at our house, and now that my kids are a little bit older and we've kind of shifted on some of those items on what we use every day, I thought it'd be fun to do an updated version, so that is what I am sharing today. So here are the 10 or 11 DIY items that we use every single day, and this is in no particular order. But first up is clothing. So as my kids have gotten older, we have gotten less and less hand-me-downs, and I have started making more and more of their clothes. I also make costumes for them, and I've made several clothing items for myself. So just about every single day, either me or my kids are wearing some sort of clothing that I've either made or have significantly altered, and yeah, so it is really fun to be able to make more clothes for myself and my family, and also to see us wearing them and making great use of them. Next up are bags, and I've definitely made a lot of different types of bags. I've made zipper bags, tote bags, drawstring bags, all of that, but today I wanted to highlight drawstring bags such as these. These two in particular are ones that I made to hold wooden animals. So I have two different wooden animal sets. The first one is kind of zoo type animals, and the other one is dinosaurs, and we keep each set in a bag of its own so that they are organized and my kids know which bag is which. They can go and get them whenever they want. We also have drawstring bags for things like Mega Blocks and Lincoln Logs, and then little character sets, like where you buy a set of characters from a show or something and they all come in a box. And then once you unwrap that, you have to find a place to store them. So drawstring bags are where it's at. My kids can open them, they can close them, so cleanup can be done without any help from an adult. Unlike when I put things in like Ziploc bags, they have to have help closing those. So this is the way to go for sure. But yeah, that is just one type of bag that we like to use every single day at this house. There are definitely lots of other kinds. Another one in particular is the vinyl zipper bags that I use as cross-stitch project bags. So here is an example of one of them that I have made. They are nice large bags that I can put fabric, cross-stitch patterns, a pair of scissors, floss, all kinds of stuff in. And then when I want to work on a project, I just look easily through the vinyl window, see which project I want to grab and work on, and I just take it with me and start working on it. And I do use these a lot. These bags are based on a tutorial I did about 2 years ago. In that tutorial, I showed how to make a smaller vinyl zipper bag, about like a school pencil bag size. And this is basically the same project, just in a larger size. So if you look down in the video description box below this video, you either hit the show more button or the little down arrow, and it will open up and you can find the link to the original vinyl zipper bag tutorial, as well as to my blog post where I go over all of the revised sizes for the pieces to make a larger bag like this. And also down there I will have links to any other tutorials or projects that I mentioned that I have a video on. So let's talk bedding for a second. So a couple years ago for my daughter's birthday, I made a t-shirt quilt out of Mickey and Minnie Mouse shirts that I found at the thrift store, and shirts that I just already owned. And since then, Skylar has slept with that t-shirt quilt on her bed every single night, so she's using it all the time, and it's so sweet. I'm so glad that she loves it so much, since I spent a lot of time and all kinds of things on it. If you are not familiar with that project, you definitely should go check out the video to see the major event that happened while I was making it, because it was, yeah. Go watch the video. Trust me, you'll understand when you get about halfway through it what I'm talking about. But yeah, my daughter does not know about that event, and she loves the quilt and she sleeps with it every day. Also, every person in our family has some DIY pillowcases that I made. Here is one that Skylar's using right now. And it's just a cute pillowcase that I made using stash fabrics. I have a tutorial on this. And yeah, it's a great way to use a printed cute fabric. And in the tutorial, I have it where it has a little flange right here, a little extra piece. You can do it with or without that. It's just a decorative thing. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we all have these pillowcases and none of them match. I don't care. They're just cute. They're fun. And yeah, they're just a nice way to have a personalized pillowcase that you know that pillow is yours. If you've drug them all over the house and built a pillow fort with the kids, it's easy to sort out whose pillowcase is whose if it has a nice fun print on it. We also have several denim rag quilts that I have made over the years. I like to use recycled materials for these, so old denim jeans that I have either quit wearing myself or I've gotten at the thrift store for super cheap. And I cut them up and turn them into rag quilts. And we have one of the rag quilts on each of our couches right now. And we've done this for many years. And it's just a way to protect our couches because we have 2 couches, we have 2 dachshunds, and we have 2 kids. So there's a lot of things that can get spilled or messy on our couches. And it is just so much easier to take off the rag quilt and throw it in the wash instead of having to try to find a way to clean our couch on a regular basis. So like right now, my dogs are in there laying on the couch, sleeping on the rag quilt because they are lazy and that's what they do for 85% of the day. But I don't mind. I'd rather be on those than directly on my couch. And speaking of keeping things clean, for many, many years, I was not an apron wearer. I just didn't care for aprons, couldn't seem to remember to put one on, and I definitely damaged a lot of clothes because I am a little bit of a messy cook, and so I would splatter things on my clothes, and it wasn't good. And so I finally made a couple aprons a few years ago and hung them in a place in my kitchen where I could not miss them, and I made myself get in the habit of wearing an apron every time I cooked. And I'm so glad I did because I've definitely saved a lot of my clothes over the years. Since I started wearing apron, I splatter things and it goes on the apron and not on my clothes. So it doesn't matter if my apron gets dirty. That's what it's there for. Every so often I throw it in the wash. It's no big deal. And I am so glad that this is a DIY that I made and I made myself start using. And actually my aprons are getting pretty worn out right now because I use them so much. And so I need to make a couple of new ones very soon. So when we moved into this house, there was not a door between the master bedroom and the master bathroom. And at first it seemed kind of weird, and we thought, well, we'll install a door after a little while. That's weird to not have a door. But the more we were here, the more we realized that there's not really a space for a door. Obviously there's a doorway. But if you have the door swing one direction, it would hit the towel bar. If it swung the other way, it would be in the way of the hamper. And there's just no good way to have a door. So we ended up buying a curtain rod, and I shopped around and found some decorator fabric that I liked that looked nice from the front and back because both sides are going to be visible. And I took the time to make a really nice looking curtain that we like. And we hung it up, and I am so glad that we did it. I'm so glad that I made it look nice from both directions and everything. And it's just worked out great. And speaking of bathrooms, sorry. Terrible segue. I am sorry. I apologize. But I want to talk about cloth pads. So I made several cloth pads for myself about 4 years ago, and I have been using them ever since. Obviously not every single day of the year, but I do use them every day for 1 week a month. And when I was writing my notes for this, I was using them, so I included it. But they are cloth pads, and I have a pattern on my website where you can get actually 2 different size patterns in case you want to make cloth pads for yourself, you want to try them out. I have a video tutorial all about it. I go over a lot of different information in it, and yeah, I just really am happy with using them. And speaking of patterns on my website, right now all of the PDF patterns are completely free on my website, even the ones that I've charged for in the past. They are all marked down to 0 right now. So if you are interested in any of the PDF patterns that I have put out over the years, you definitely should head over there and get them right now while they are free. I don't know how long I'm going to have them for free, so get them while they're there, and yeah, enjoy some freebies. And yeah, if you end up making something using one of my patterns or one of my tutorials, definitely let me know. Share a picture with me either on my Facebook page, or you can tag me on Instagram. All the information is again down below. And I would love to see what you're making from my tutorials, and especially from my patterns. And another one of my patterns that was already free is the fabric bunting that you can see right back here. I have 2 strands back here that I made in actually a smaller size than what the pattern is. I just scaled it down a little bit. And then we have another string of rainbow fabric bunting hanging in our homeschool room, and we love seeing it. Just the other day my kids were commenting about how pretty it is, and they love seeing all the bright colors in it. And it's just a fun way to just decorate up a room or a little space. And yeah, my kids and I love rainbow order stuff, so that just made sense for our schoolroom. And yeah, it's another freebie pattern that you can go and pick up and use to create something fun. And finally, last on the list is fabric masks. So I do not actually leave my house every single day, but every day that I do leave my house, I have been wearing a fabric mask, because this year is what it is, and until things get back to normal, that's what I choose to do. I do hope things, you know, improve and get back to normal again soon, but until then, fabric masks. So those are all of the DIYs that I could think of that we use every day. I'm sure there are other ones that I'm just so used to seeing and using that it didn't even, you know, register to add them onto my list. I would love to know what kind of DIYs and handmade items you and your family use every single day. Leave them in a comment down below, because I love hearing what people do, what people make, what people use. And don't forget that you can click show more or the down arrow to get all those links and information out of the video description box. And then I'll have a couple of my favorite videos out of the projects that I mentioned linked right over here to the side, so make sure to click one of those and give it a watch. And until next time, happy sewing!